What's good, everybody? It's your boy Alex P, King of Sin City, Mr. 702, the GOAT, the CEO and voice of Las Vegas, and this is King of Vegas Talk, your new favorite internet television daytime TV show. Talk show, actually. I'm super excited to be here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great show for y'all today. You already know what it is, you guys. Before we go ahead and get started, I gotta go ahead and thank everybody that's tuning in. Shout out to my kings and queens across the world, baby. Like I said, I know y'all in the Philippines, in New York, LA, Washington, and here in Las Vegas. I could not do this without you guys. You know what I'm saying? Episode 2, King of Vegas Talk. I'm very, very grateful to be here. Shout out to today's sponsor, Fay Leta Crawford, author of Sins of Love. You guys, we are going to get into it today, baby. It's definitely going to be a kiki. But before we get started, you guys, I just got to say, you guys, this incredible book, Sins of Love, I really needed to hear this book, read this book right now. As you guys know, well, you don't know, I just got out of a 6-year relationship. It was very abusive. And you know, I feel like such a hypocrite because I'm always telling you guys, remember who you are. Don't let nobody play you. Don't let nobody ever fuck with you. And here I am not doing the same for myself, you guys. I'm not even trying to like up-talk myself, but I'm such a nice person. I don't deserve anything happening like that to me. Baby, this face is too beautiful and I'm on camera now, baby. I gotta make sure I ain't got no scars, no bruises. It's okay to laugh at your pain sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Just don't laugh at me. I'm just playing, y'all. Like I said to you guys, I really needed to hear this message. Because, you know, everybody that's going through an abusive relationship right now, sometimes it feels like it's just you going through it. You know what I'm saying? It feels like there's nobody else there. It feels like you see everybody and you think, damn, I wish that could be me. That could be us. But shit, man, baby, when they get home, you don't know what the fuck they're going through. And you know what I'm saying? It feels good to not have to protect my abuser anymore. It feels good not to have to continuously lie to make sure that I have to keep up with the image that they're falsely creating for themselves. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk too much about it because we're doing a tell-all next episode. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about, you know, this abusive relationship. I'm talking about the dumb bitch that went ahead and tried to sabotage me. I have a lot of things to talk about next episode, but today we're talking Sins of Love. I'm so excited to be here, you guys. Like I said, author of Sins of Love, Fay Leta Crawford. I mean, it couldn't just have been a perfect moment for me to go ahead and receive this, you guys. It's been a long 5 weeks for me, but you know, we're gonna go ahead and just get started with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go ahead and for me to introduce today's guest / co-host, baby. All hour long, baby, we talking that shit. Baby. Ladies and gentlemen, please make a great warm welcome to Miss Fay Leta Crawford. How you doing, girl?
Hey, I'm so glad to be here. How are you, boo?
Oh, girl, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm even better now that we met. You know what I'm saying? It feels like that it feels, even though this is the first time we've ever met, it feels like, you know, two friends catching up. It really do. Does it not?
Yes, it does. It definitely does.
Before we get into it, baby, you look good. So how long did it take you to look this good today?
You know what? We not even going to start on everything that happened from my makeup artist going MIA, my hairstylist disappeared. So I had to do it all myself today, but we got it together.
That's okay, baby, because there was still no stopping you. And that's on period. Baby, I want to go ahead and just get right into things with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, first off, I love how you are so brave to expose your experience with love. Did you hesitate writing Sins of Love, being so vulnerable writing this?
No, so for me, I'm a Gemini, so you're going to get both sides of us all the way, but I've always been unapologetically me.
Right.
And I feel like if you don't live in your truth, then who are you for real? So it's one of those things where I've always been kind of a straight shooter on who I am and what's going on in my life. So I feel like this book is it's one of those things that people don't talk about. People love to talk about the good sides of love and everything that's cute and fairy tales and the rings and the proposals, but nobody wants to talk about the heartbreaks, the abuse. And I'm not even just talking about love from your family members. I'm talking about love that you have with your friends, that you have with your family, with your significant other, any type of love that you experience. We talking about it all.
I love that, baby. Were you afraid that people you referenced would come after you for being so vulnerable in this book?
No, because everybody kind of already knows how I am. And so, I mean, there's one person where when he read some of the poems, he was like, ooh, you know, but he's like, I know you and I know how you are and I know you live in your truth. So he was just like, he had to breathe. And on a couple of the poems, he was like, you know, you had me checking the cameras.
Okay.
But he was like, I'm good. So no, everybody for the most part is like, you know.
So baby, I need you to correct me. Are these chapters or poems?
So each one is a poem.
Okay.
So it's broke down into, hold on, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 chapters. So I studied psych when I was in school. So if you look at the chapters, they're actually the stages of death and dying. So it's anger, it's denial, it's depression, it's bargaining, and finally acceptance. So I took those 5 stages and turned them into chapters for Sins of Love.
And I love how there's so many poems. You said there's only 5 chapters. I love how you had an introduction for each chapter. I feel like that was so important. Girl, I'm kind of slow, so, it kept me up to pace. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't want to sit here and tell everybody everything, because y'all need to go ahead and buy this book. It's really good, you guys. Like, I really just felt like I was being, and I told her this before, I felt like I was being exposed. I felt like my story was being told out loud. It was so healing, But I do want to do a deep dive in some of my favorite poems of Sins of Love with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Girl, let's go ahead and get started. So the first poem I want to talk about is Potential. And I want to read this quote. As soon as I'm full inside, I'm empty inside. Could you break down to the viewers what you meant by that?
Okay, so this one is actually like probably one of my favorite poems. It was like actually one of the last poems I wrote before I decided to release the book. And I like to do a play on words and metaphors. Like, that's just kind of my thing. So naturally, it is talking about sex. Like, once I'm full inside, I'm empty, because as soon as you leave, all of you leaves my insides, So like it's definitely referencing sex and when a man comes in you and then releases.
Yeah.
So naturally, people don't understand the soul ties that are created when you are intimate with someone, and so them being inside of you and then coming out of you, some people don't realize that, hey, like, everything is all good and dandy and so personal and so intimate, and then as soon as that moment's over, it's done.
Right.
So, you kind of gotta, it plays on it just a little bit. It gets real heavy at the beginning.
Definitely, baby, and this is just the beginning. We already get into it. The next poem, I apologize. The next poem that I want to talk about that I really loved was Repeat. I felt like this was such a powerful poem because I've been there before. And I want to go ahead and just read another quote. Saying this to keep my demons from being released. That was so powerful to me. Was that hard for you to decide to personally, I apologize, was that hard for you to decide to be so personal within that specific poem?
No, because I feel like in the poem, I'm going to give you just a little bit. It says, every day I repeat, you love me, you're not using me. So I feel like in relationships, sometimes when we see certain things, we may not always tell the truth to ourselves about what's going on. So sometimes we psych ourselves up being like, okay, he loves me, she loves me, I know she do, they've showed me X, Y, and Z. So I feel like it's a conversation that I'm having with myself, or you can have with yourself, like, okay, are they, they love me. I'm telling myself, I'm repeating it to myself, kind of like the way we do our affirmations. We repeat them over and over and over. And if you repeat your affirmations over and over, you feel like it's the truth and it's something that's going to come to life. But sometimes what we're repeating, is it really the truth? Is it really what's real?
Oh, that's so good, girl. I love that. The next poem that I want to talk about is Am I Supposed To? So was this woman you referred to about in this poem at one point the other woman in your relationship?
So actually, Am I Supposed To is actually I am the other woman in this poem.
Okay.
So some of these get a little deep. Some of them get a little personal. So in this one, I am the other woman in this. So it is, there's actually 2 poems that coincide, Am I Supposed To and You Are Supposed To. And one is my letter to the wife, and one is a response from the wife to the side piece, which is me in this scenario.
So you and that other woman have spoken, right?
You know what? I don't want to give too many details about that because that is coming out in the next book. But we have spoken, and I was having an on and off again relationship. We started off as friends, then a relationship. It had a whole up and down roller coaster ride. So it was almost 20 years on and off with this man.
Wow.
And so we just recently talked for the first time last year on my birthday when he went to send me flowers and she saw the receipt.
So how long did it take? Oh, girl. How long did it take for you guys to go ahead and talk again and reconnect in that way?
He disappeared for like maybe a couple weeks, and then he was just like, I need, some time to let it kind of air out. And then I was finally like, you know what, I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm almost 40. I'm ready to find my person and settle down, and I can't continue to do this with you. Either you're gonna let it go, or we finna let it go.
Right.
So I had to finally choose me and make that choice.
Oh, I know that was hard, girl.
It do be hard, especially because the love is there. That was my first love. That's the one person that I know 100% truly knows me for me, right, wrong, or indifferent that man loves me. And so it's one of those things where, you know, you have all the people in the world that say, oh, they can't love two people, or, oh, this isn't right, or woo-woo, but you can't help who you love. And sometimes you have to go through those in order to get to that person that is actually meant for you. So I'm waiting for him. So if you're out there and you're watching, hit me up.
So you said that was your first love. Was that your first relationship, period, or just your first person that you know you were in love with truly?
No, that was the first person I knew I was in love with truly. And it's so funny because I actually cheated on my boyfriend at the time to be with him. So it was just like a full cycle of craziness with this man. But I mean, to this day, I love that man to death.
Do you wish that you could run it back to the person that you cheated on him with?
And it's so funny because, like, every time I talk to him, he's actually doing well in life right now. And every time I do, like, check on him, like, hey, how you doing? I always apologize. And he's like, you don't have to keep apologizing. But I feel bad because I was the one that broke his heart. He was the good guy that I crushed his heart. So I will always feel bad for him. But, like, I feel like it wasn't meant, like, for us to be, like, I feel like we can be good friends. But to go back to the one I cheated on him with, no, I don't think it was meant to be.
Did that man ever try to interfere that relationship, the 20-year relationship that you were with?
Oh, yeah, he definitely did.
Wow.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, my goodness, girl. So she ended up becoming the one that he married. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how did that make you feel, them becoming one?
So at first, I didn't know that he was actually married. So it's, I'm not going to try to take too long on this, but he actually was prepping to get married, and he was in Chicago, and I was in Cali at the time, and she found an old box of pictures and old poems and songs that we had wrote, and he had moved it from the last location to the house that they just bought, prepping to get married. Wow. And she was like, you know what, find this girl, and if it's meant for y'all to be, it will be. Then she went on social media and blocked me on everything so he couldn't find me.
Wow. On his account?
On his account.
Wow.
So then he went and got married, and then about 8-9 months later, he found an old email that I had and hit me up like, hey, I tried to find you. I got married, yada, 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 just had a baby. And I'm like, what you mean you try to find me? Then I went and looked him up like, oh, no, baby, she blocked me because, and I feel like that's the reason why I've kind of been like, when it comes to her, because, baby, you blocked my blessing. You stopped me from having my true person. So I kind of feel like whatever you get in the REM part is, is kind of your karma.
When he reached out to you via email, is that when he sent the flowers?
No, he reached out via email. No, the flowers was last year, boo.
Oh,
that was
girl.
Last year.
So how long ago was you receiving that email? A couple years ago?
So we started dating in 2004. And so the email came, he got married in 2005.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, because I went to college. I started SIUC in Illinois. So 2003, we met. I seen him in passing and whatnot, but I was dating the other guy at the time, and then I ended up splitting. We were at a house party, and he'll tell you to this day, like, I remember what she had on, what she smelled like.
That was your first interaction together.
That was our first interaction. Wow. We were at a party, and I was at a party with the boyfriend,
girl.
And he was like, I was watching you, and then y'all got into it, and he swooped in like a thief in the night.
Do you think, before we go ahead and move on from this part of the discussion, do you think that the person, well, no, you said that you don't think that was meant to be. Do you think that you could have had a great life with the person you cheated on him with?
Yeah. Like, to this day, like, I'm not even going to lie to you. And some people think I'm crazy. But like I said, sometimes you can't help who you love.
Right.
If that man was like, you know what, I let it go and I'm just ready to just, like, do what we should have did. Because he always tells me that I'm his kryptonite and I'm the one that got away. So, like, I know he loves her, but I know he's in love with me. So it's one of those things where it's like, if he walked through this door right now and was like, Fay Leta,
you're okay,
let's do it, I'd be like, let's go.
No, that's right. So you watching my man. Go ahead and do that. So the next poem that I want to talk about is Girl, Let Him Go. I love how you spoke on every version of abuse: physical, mental, emotional, sexual, financial abuse. Writing this chapter, were you speaking to yourself, or was this meant to be advice to the next person reading this?
I feel like it's a combination of both.
Okay.
People don't realize, like, I think the statistics is crazy. Like, 1 in every 3 women have been raped.
Wow.
And so, unfortunately, I am one of those statistics. I was raped in college twice, actually, unfortunately. So it was one of those things where when I'm talking about the abuse, I'm talking about everything. So I know people who have been through financial abuse. It's a lot of men to this day that they're paying for love, and these girls don't really want them, but they'll empty out their whole checkbook for the sake of being loved and having somebody in their corner. There's people that are being physically abused. There's people that are being held down and raped in their relationship. There's people that are being psychologically abusing people, mentally abusing people. And like some people, and it's crazy because like when people talk about abuse, people don't understand the levels of abuse and how far it goes. It could be something as simple as we're in a relationship and I'm giving you the silent treatment for 4 to 5 days. That's abuse. And it took me even realizing that I was doing that to somebody to realize that everybody's in some point does a little bit of abuse to people. So sometimes you really have to kind of step back and really look at your levels of communication and how you interact with people. And like when someone's telling you that this is too far or this is enough, like you have to listen to that.
I love that you said that because like sometimes people don't understand or even know that they're being abused in the relationship because it's not physical. You get what I'm saying? Oh, girl, we are getting into it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. The next poem that I want to talk about is actually the intro to the next chapter, Intro to Anger. I felt this chapter so much because at times our abusers will make us feel like we're wrong for them making us feel the way that they made us feel. You know what I'm saying? So why do you think they make us feel like we're in the wrong for feeling the emotions they've caused us?
I mean, I feel like that has to deal with the manipulation and the control. So if
it's kind of like narcissistic.
Yeah, that narcissistic. And then it's like, it's that reverse psychology too. So if I can make you feel like you're the one that's doing it wrong, then you're more likely to be like, okay, well, baby, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to do these things. And then you continue that cycle of abuse over and over and over.
Girl. So the next chapter or the next poem that I want to talk about is it's kind of a big one, post-wedding feels. That one right there, girl. So you mentioned that your ex would have his family members, specifically his mama. She said it, not me, okay? His mama would stick her nose in your guys' relationship. I need to know, what advice do you have for someone watching who's going through that right now?
So actually, that poem is actually not about me. So that poem is actually about one of my family members. Wow. So I'm an empath. So I can, if you were to say, you know what, let's talk about this tea in my abusive relationship right now. The way you told me your story, I could write about it like it was mine. Wow. So that is actually about one of my family members that I'm actually really close with. And her husband, soon to be ex-husband, thank God, is his mama just was a little too involved. Okay. And like she would tell me about, their interactions and how he would kind of feed off what she was saying. And it's like, baby, go get your own relationship. The Bible says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So if this is your good thing, then why are you not treating it like your good thing? And why are you taking advice from somebody else that is not within your household? This is somebody that you went in front of God and all these people to say that this is the woman I'm supposed to be with. So treat her like that woman and that prize that she is.
Right. I love that, girl. You just spoke spot on for so many people. The next poem that I really, really want to talk about. Well, actually, before we even get there, let me read this quote. Somebody please tell me where's my king? Because there's no man on this throne. At one point, when did you realize that little boy wasn't the man that he claimed to be?
Yeah, and I feel like everybody in their relationship, whether it's a man or a woman, realizes like, hey, like I'm looking at things that I know I should accept, and I'm looking at things that I know I shouldn't accept. Right. And I know what I deserve as a person. So if I'm calling myself a king, or I'm saying you're my king and you're not holding up to these standards to do these things that I'm saying you're supposed to do, it's like, baby, okay, hold on. Right. I'm gonna need you to grow up. And K. Michelle said it best. You can't raise no man.
Yes, ma'am.
You feel me? And in the reverse, you can't raise a woman. Right. So sometimes you really have to look at the situation and like just be honest with yourself about, hey, I'm here and they're here. Like we're not at the same place. So okay, baby, fall back.
Do you feel like being with him did something to your crown? Did it make you feel less than?
I feel like anytime you allow somebody to treat you in a way that you're not deserving of, always tilt your crown.
Yes, ma'am.
Always. So I feel like if you feel like that relationship isn't healthy, if you feel like that relationship is toxic, if you feel like that relationship is not allowing you to grow, it's altering your crown. So sometimes you have to step back, set your crown down, fix yourself, and then put your crown back on.
Absolutely. The next poem that I really, really want to talk about is 2 Seconds Away. I felt this poem the most because wanting someone to hurt as much as you do can make you want to do some crazy things. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I do. It definitely does.
Do you feel the victim in any type of abusive relationship is in the wrong for wanting revenge?
No, I don't. I feel like it's just normal nature for even if it's not physical abuse, sometimes that mental manipulation is enough to make you be like, yo, I want you to feel this.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, like, we as humans, we naturally want you to understand where we're coming from. So, yeah, like, if you hit me, I'm wanting to hit you back. I'm wanting you to feel this pain.
Yes.
Yeah, if I feel like you're mentally suffocating me, I want you to be able to not breathe. I want you to be able to feel the pain that I'm feeling.
Right.
Whether people feel like it's right or wrong, it's one of those things where I can't help that. I want you to understand where I'm coming from in my pain. I want you to understand where my head and where my heart is when these things are going on. So I don't feel like they're wrong for that. I feel like that's just normal nature.
Do you think that revenge is worth it, or is it better to just try your best to move on?
Baby, listen. I feel like I feel like it depends on how long the relationship has been, because if it's something quick, sometimes you just got to let it go. Just baby kick rocks and keep it moving. And I learned that lesson. I'm going to move on to the next one. But when you're with someone for a long period of time, you just be feeling like, no, baby, I need my get back. I need you to understand what's going on here. And I need you to feel it. So, I mean, even with that 20-year on and off again relationship, like, at first, I was just like, no. But at the end, once I spoke to her and heard some of the stories and heard some of the lies, when the interaction went back and forth, that's when I was like, oh, for real? Okay, shorty, let me tell you what was really said. Let me tell you what was really done. Let me tell you where we really met at, you know? So, and I feel like some of that is just like, no, I want you to feel the pain that I feel, because we get swept under the rug as, you know, the people that are receiving the abuse. And it's like, no, like, I need you to feel this so you can understand what you did wrong. So then maybe at some point you'll wake up and realize, oh, okay, maybe I was wrong, or maybe I should apologize.
Right.
But sometimes they really need to feel that pain in order for them to understand what they've done.
So I got a 2-part question to that. So did you get your revenge?
I did.
You did?
I did.
You did?
look at the innocence in that. I did.
I love that.
I did.
So I just want to get just a little personal with you. So in my relationship in the 6 years, I had 9 physical altercations happen.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay, baby, because fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And I know you're still watching, baby. Okay, go ahead and get me paid, okay? But physical altercation 1 through 8, he hit me first. I think only the 3rd altercation or 4th, I defended myself to get him away from me. The 9th time, I knew he was going to hit me again, and I knew, you know what, I'm going to beat his ass, and I'm going to leave. And I'm going to let you know I beat him bloody. Bloody. Had him begging to get me the fuck off.
As you should.
And it's so crazy because the physical altercations 1 through 8, I didn't threaten to call the cops. I stayed with you, and I accepted you, and I forgave you. But that 9th time, girl, he couldn't take it, and it's over. Even though I knew I was leaving him anyway, but he said, it's over. I'm not doing this shit. I'm calling the cops on you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep it real. I did get my revenge, but I still don't feel like it was enough. I really want to go back and continue to do more, but I know that I shouldn't. Do you have any advice for me on trying to just take my little win for what it is and not crave more?
So I think that's one thing where I have to say, like, my relationship with God is a big thing.
Yes.
So I feel like it's one thing where it's a personal battle that you have to deal within yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's when prayer really comes into hand, where you really need to go to God and be like, look, I'm struggling, and my human nature is telling me to go over there and whoop his ass, which you know I want to do, but keep me in focus on what I have going on, what your path is for me. Because sometimes and that's why I say sometimes revenge can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing, because karma is a bitch, and she does come around for everybody. So I feel like it's one of those things where you really have to kind of pray on it and be like, Lord, you know I stepped too far, but just align me back on what you have set for me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like once I finally decided to let him all the way go, and that's when I finally finished this book and started to move forward. That's when things started to kind of align. So I feel like sometimes we have people in our lives that aren't meant to be in our lives, and sometimes things happen to us, whether they're good or bad, for a reason, in order for us to teach us certain lessons. And sometimes we stay longer than is needed because we're not learning that lesson that needs to be taught.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
once we finally get the lesson that is being taught to us, it's enough for allow us to move. So what I would say to you is just, even though it was a bad situation, take it, learn from it, give yourself some grace. Give
Okay.
yourself some grace, because sometimes we don't give ourselves enough grace for how strong we are and some of the things we go through, and then even our moments of weakness. You had 9 moments of 8. You had 8. Hold on, let me take it back, because you had one strong moment.
Okay.
You had 8 moments of weakness,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it took those 8 times in order for you to learn the lesson to get to the 9th one to have your strength.
Yeah.
So just take heed to the fact that it took a while, but you got to that 9th moment where you were
did.
strong enough to get past that. So just give yourself some breathing room. Just continue to pray and just move forward and be the bad bitch that you are, so you can get to where you're supposed to be.
I know
and
that's
let
right,
'em
baby.
watch,
I know
and let
that's
'em
right, baby.
watch.
And Karma, I know you're gonna do your thing about girl, but can you make sure that I can witness it? I'm just playing, y'all. So I want to go ahead and go on to the next poem. Snakes. Okay, snakes love to slither. Can you let the people know what exactly you meant by that?
So that one was also about my relative, and that is about her soon-to-be ex-husband. They taught us a long time ago when we were little, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Right.
So
Right.
if it looked like a snake, if it hissed like a snake,
It's a
it's going to
snake.
slither like a snake.
ma'am.
And sometimes we will look at a snake and be like, oh, I can make it a pet. No, you know it's a snake.
Right.
So let that snake be a snake and let it go ahead and move into whatever grass it wants to be, but your own.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's all I meant by that. Sometimes we need to actually take things for face value for what
Yes,
they really
ma'am.
are.
Yes, ma'am. How many, if you could do a quick count, how many stories did you actually, other stories that are not yours, did you actually put in this book or reference in this book?
So I feel like it's a combination, because like there's some poems in there that I wrote from women's perspectives. There's a couple poems I wrote from men's perspective. There's a couple poems I wrote from a wife's perspective, from a side piece perspective. So I feel like I jump around to quite, like, I say about over half is about me personally, but I feel like I needed to throw in other people's experiences in order to make it well-rounded.
Right. Did you feel like your story wasn't enough, or for, as far as writing content, or was it just like, you know what, this is relatable? Did you feel like these stories were your same story, or?
I feel like it's relatable, and
Okay.
I feel like sometimes people need to, like, I can't give it all away in the first book.
Right,
I got to
right.
be able to, draw you in a little bit, then give you just enough to make you want to come back for the next one.
Absolutely.
So I feel like, based off things that were going on, it was one of those things where I needed to incorporate other people's experiences too,
Absolutely.
just so people can kind of get a well-rounded view of like different things that go on from different perspectives. Because I've never been a wife, so I can't really be like, oh, this is how it would be, because I'm not a wife. But I can tell you what it's like hearing from people that are wives. I don't know what it's like to be a man, because I'm not a man. But I can
Right.
tell you my perspective of how a man feels based off my brothers, my uncles, my male friends who have
Absolutely.
been around different things.
Absolutely. So you guys were together, you said 20 years?
On and off. I was dealing with that man for 20 years.
So what stopped you from saying I do?
So when we actually split was when we were in college, and he got caught cheating. And so that's when I walked away from him. And we kind of took that break, and then we kind of kicked back in. Then my uncle got sick, and I left Chicago and moved to
Right.
California to take care of him.
Right.
So then we didn't talk for almost a year. His mom passed, and then he got married, and then he hit me up. And so then we kicked back in our natural, like, conversations, and we're talking on the phone every day. And then after a year and a half of us doing that, then I fly back home to Chicago and
Right,
see him. And
right.
then I started dating my son's father. And so then it kind of moved from, even though the love was there, it kind of moved more from like, okay, like, really interacting to, okay, like, we're checking on people, I hope you're happy.
Right.
I would never come to the wedding, but if you're happy, I want you to be happy. I want you to have your person. But he's still there. He's still in the background. The communications are there. The meetings are still happening. And then when I split with my son's father, then he was just like, oh, he kicked back in super strong, like he didn't deserve you. So it's been this on and off again thing that's just, it's went on for too long.
Do you think to this day he knows the right things to say to you?
He 100%. That man knows me backwards and forward.
Wow.
Even if he was to call right now, my whole face is going to light up, even though every bone in my body knows, let that man go. Let him go.
Girl.
Let him go. But like I said, sometimes you can't help who you love, but sometimes I feel like those are also lessons. Like I said, I feel like I tolerated him for so many years because it was something I was not learning. So it kept repeating. The cycle kept repeating. I kept and like I said, I started the book and stopped the book and started the book and stopped the book. So it was one of those things where it's like, okay, you giving your girlfriends advice, you're going through this, you're doing that, but
Right.
sometimes you're not heeding your own advice sometimes. And
Absolutely.
so I feel like it took it coming completely full circle, and my friends being like, we know you love him, but like really let that man go. Like really look at what's going on here.
Oh, girl. So the next poem that I want to talk about is Why. That's the title of the poem. So we often want to know just that. Why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like knowing the why is truly important?
I feel like we as humans need closure to certain situations. So I feel like, especially when they're longer relationships and longer histories, like you need to know why. Like, I know the next book is going to get into it, and then the book after that that I wrote about my mom, which is Daughter of a Pisces. Be on the lookout for that
Okay.
one.
That's the title of the next book?
No, the next book is actually called The Rise and Fall of My Artists.
Okay, I just went ahead and tricked her into getting that exclusive. But continue on.
So,
Lady.
but Daughter of a Pisces is my relationship with my mom, who died 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it was definitely a very rocky relationship. So we talk about the relationships between parents and their kids and whatnot. And so when it came to my relationship with my mom, there was a lot of things that were done, and I don't want to spoil that book. But at the end, I still like was trying to ask my mom questions on the deathbed, like, can I just get this closure? And there were things that my mom was just like, regardless of whether you understand or not, it's my job to protect you as your mother, right, wrong, whether you feel like I'm right or wrong. And there's answers to questions that I'll never get the answers to, because she felt like she was doing what was right and I felt like she was doing what was wrong. So even to this day, it's just like, I want to know like why you did this, why do you feel like it was okay to hurt me and continue to hurt me?
Right.
Even though I'm showing you as your child, Mom, I love you, Mom, I look just like you, but you're choosing to hurt me. Like, why? So I feel like different relationships, like you do need that. But
Right.
then there's certain friendships, like I had a friendship recently where it just went completely to shit. And I'm like, no, I don't want to know why. I'm going to just let you move.
Would you say that your relationship with your mother was toxic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely was.
Because of the love life you had with your mother, do you think that's why you were so accepting to have that toxic relationship with your man?
But with my first love, yeah, because I feel like people that have any type of bad relationships when it comes to their moms or their dads, and my son's father's son's father, ooh, I can't even talk, whoo, Jesus, he used to say all the time, like, you got mommy and daddy issues, so that's why you allow certain things in you.
Absolutely.
And like, it used to piss me off when he said it, but then I had to be honest with myself on like, okay, yeah, I do
Right.
have issues with my relationship with my mom. I did have issues with my relationship with my dad, and that was some of the issues with me trying to find love and trying to like guide myself through that path, because you're looking for love in all the wrong places, and you're trying to get a love that you didn't have here or from this person that you were supposed to or that you were expecting. So yeah, you tend to accept things that you shouldn't accept because of those relationships.
Absolutely. Going back to the poem Why, do you think we truly know why and just hope for like a different answer when we ask?
Yeah, I think a lot of the times we know. Like, a lot of the times we know that this relationship isn't right. A lot of the times we know that this person is cheating. We still choose to be there, and we still choose to deal with it. So
Right.
a lot of the times we know. We just be wanting, and then some of us, we just need all 30 pounds of evidence. Like, girl, you knew that man was cheating.
Right.
Everybody saw it. It was on social media.
Right.
We all knew she called. You know, and you knew it had to get to that point where you had enough in order for it to be like, okay, but yeah, we know.
Absolutely. The next poem that I want to talk about is Strong Enough. That's the title of the poem. I want to go ahead and read this quote. The quote, "Be strong, you got this." I really hate when people tell me that at times.
I do too.
I really, really do. What were you thinking when people were telling you, "Be strong, you got this, Fay"?
So that was around the time that right after my mom passed. And it was one of those things where I tend to be the strong friend. So, and I'm the oldest of 6 kids. So you're meant to be the leader. You're meant to be the one kind of
Absolutely.
in charge. And sometimes, like, we all have our moments of depression. We all have our moments of weakness. And sometimes you just be like, I don't want to be strong in this moment. Like, why can't I just be like, you know what? I've had enough. Like, I'm at my breaking point. Like, come help me. Come be there for me. Let me be able to come to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then during that time, like, everything happened. Like, I lost my place. I got hurt at work. Like, so it was just so much that was piling on. And it's like, yo, I'm telling y'all, I'm screaming to y'all, I need help.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, you got it. You gonna figure it out. It's okay. You got it. You the strong one. You always handle it. And it's like, no, like, if I'm telling you in this moment that I'm weak, let me be weak. Be that person to lift me up. So if y'all have strong friends, please check on y'all strong friends, because sometimes we just need a break. And so sometimes we aren't as strong in those moments, and we want somebody to have our back the way we have others.
Absolutely. The next poem I want to talk about is Unconditional, and I'm going to go ahead and read this quote. As I know it's real, I know you're really not mine. I had to pause the book and really control myself when I heard that. Like, I truly, truly did, because the love is so real at times, but that doesn't mean that they're really yours. You know what I mean? So when did you realize that he really wasn't yours? And what was that specific moment you realized it?
So, so that poem is actually based off my revenge. So I actually decided to deal with somebody that I know I shouldn't have dealt with. And then things started to develop, like, because we were hanging out and it was supposed to be a one and done, and that one and done turned to be like 30 times over. Right. And so now it's a cycle that's continuing, and I know it's not. And then his feelings involved, and I'm like, baby, I know what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And we know this is wrong. So it's not supposed to go this far. But if I need you, I know I could call you. If I want something, I know I can get it from you.
Absolutely.
But I know the basis of this. I know that my intentions when I hopped into this, and I know your intentions aren't true either. So it's just like, I know you're there, but I know you're not mine. So, the love comes with conditions, and I know that. So I have to be honest with what the conditions are and what the situation really is.
Oh my goodness, girl, that's so strong. That is so strong of you to share that, girl. The next poem that I really want to talk about is really a big one, especially for all Black women, a Black woman's pain. Okay, I want to read this quote. It's super important. See a Black woman's pain. See my hate for our shades. See me compare myself to them because the beauty they portray. You spoke absolute truth. As a beautiful Black woman yourself, why do you think the world makes all aspects of love 10 times harder for Black women specifically?
You know what? I think that's something we ask ourselves every day, because I feel like we've always been compared to everything else. if you go all the way back to slavery times,
yes, ma'am,
our bodies were portrayed as something that was ugly.
Yes, ma'am.
Our skin tones were portrayed as something that wasn't right.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I feel like since the beginning of time, we've always had to fight for who we are. And I feel like Black women, because we kind of never really have anybody in our corner, it's one of those things where we don't only turn on other people, we turn on ourselves.
Oh, yes.
And I feel like, I don't know why we got to fight so hard, but it's like, it doesn't matter what's going on. We promote our Black men, they tear us down. We promote, Black women, we tear ourselves down. So it's one of those things where I feel like that strong enough poem kind of comes back into play too, because we've always had to be strong. We've always had to deal with the negativity that comes with being a Black woman. And then from that, we have to keep growing and migrate our ways up. And then now we're Black women that are single Black women. And so then it just keeps creating this negative stigmatism when it comes to Black women. And it's just like, we just want that love. We just want that love. So, I mean, I wish I could really give you a clear, concise answer on why it's always been a big thing. I think it's also a matter of, and like just people just being intimidated by the Black woman and the strength that we possess. But I feel like a lot of Black women also don't know their strength and their power. And I think we need to reclaim that as Black women and really uplift each other and be there for each other and like just stand in our truth.
Absolutely.
But I think people also need to understand the pain that is really given to Black women from society calling us ugly and picking our shades apart, or telling us we're too big, too skinny, too fat, or they're all on welfare, they're this, that, and the other. Like, really look at what is being said. Really look at, and it's so funny because we were talking about this the other day, and people are like, oh, you like to overanalyze stuff, and I'm gonna just be real quick, but we were watching Rachel. The lady on Rachel.
Yeah. And
so no, it wasn't Rachel. It was the little Coco Melon boy. And it was him, the little white boy, and then it was a little Hispanic girl and a little black boy, and the twinkle twinkle came down, and then the Hispanic girl tried to throw him up to the sky, and he fell. So she failed from getting the star back in the sky.
Right.
So the little black boy hopped on the seesaw, and he went to the sky, and then he came all the way back down. So he made it all the way to the top, and then he fell and came back down. And then the little white boy came, and he tied him to balloons, and he went all the way back to the top, and he made it. And I was like, y'all, do y'all see just that little bit? These are for kids.
Right.
And people say I may be getting too deep, but
no.
It went from the little Hispanic girl couldn't do it, the little black boy couldn't do it, but the little white boy could. So people don't understand. It's even little stuff like that people take all the way back, and it's just like, it's always a divide. Why couldn't it just be, oh, the star fell down and they all work together as a team to get it back up? It's always got to be this separation of people. And I feel like since the beginning of time, everything has to be separated and divided, and it shouldn't be. If we just take everything for what it is and the common basis of what everybody needs and what needs to be accomplished, it wouldn't be so much hate.
Absolutely. The next poem that I really want to get into is the introduction to acceptance, okay? So how long did it take you to accept the love for what it truly is, or isn't, should I say?
I mean, I would have to say it took 20 years. It took 20 years. And I feel like it's one of those things that acceptance is actually the last chapter in the book. I have to choose it every day. I have to choose me every day to not go back. I have to choose me to not want to send an email or text or go on his social media and check on him and the kids. Like, I have to choose me first and foremost. And I feel like everybody needs to choose themselves. But I feel like that love for you has to be strong enough in order for your love for yourself to outweigh the love that you're trying to get from someone else.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The final chapter, the final poem, let me correct myself. The final poem I want to talk about is Thoughts of Me. This is the final section of the book that we're going to talk about, y'all, and it's the one. You said this in this poem, and I quote, "I have to love me because that's the gift God gave to me." You know what I'm saying? How hard is it for you to remind yourself that you have to continuously love yourself, Faye?
I feel like everybody has their moments where sometimes you wake up and you're just, this me, I'm this strong black woman, and woo up, and this is me, and this is who I am, and I love me. And then you'll go outside and see something or hear something that will completely shatter everything you had before you stepped outside that door. So I feel like it has to be a continuous thing, but like, God is love, and God loves us all. So it's one of those things where if we are created in his image and he is love, then we have to have love for ourselves, because that is the gift that he gave to us. He gave us love, so we are love. So I feel like we have to be able to deliver more love and be what he is showing us that we are. We all have this love, but we have to understand the love that is within ourselves in order to be able to shine it on to other people and to give it away.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want you to go ahead and just read what's on the back of your book for you. Yeah. If you can go ahead and do that.
Okay. So who am I? I am Love Leta. My name is Fay Leta Crawford. I was born in Galesburg, Illinois. My life has taken me all across the country, from Galesburg to Carbondale to Chicago to San Bernardino to currently reside in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name, Love Leta, is an expression of self, which is a love of me, which I believe everyone needs to have. Love for yourself first and foremost. I was blessed with a gift, so I've decided to finally share it with the world. I am a woman of words, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. I've always had a passion for writing since I was young. I've always allowed myself to be vulnerably naked with my feelings and my truths. I decided to share with the world my poems, my thoughts, my views, and to create dialogues on self, the heart, life events, our struggles, heartbreaks, successes, and disappointments. I hope to give words of advice, encouragement, hope, love, openness in times of struggles and depression, and share my experiences. I also hope that sharing my story and the stories of others will touch someone and help with myself and your own personal growth. Thanks for reading, and keep a lookout for future books to come.
I know that's right, girl. Girl, how long did it take you to go ahead and get this incredible piece of art together?
So it actually took years. I actually created my company, Love Leta, which, like I said, is a play on words. I like to play on words and do metaphors. So Love Leta, my middle name is Leta, and Love Leta, love letter. It's kind of a play on words. So I created my company, Love Leta, in 2020, and then about 6 months into the year, my dad died. And then less than 5 months later, my boss died. So I took a complete stop. I started writing. I was super excited. Then I paused. So then we kick into 2021. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start back writing, keep it going. Then I found out my mom had cancer and she wasn't telling everybody. So then 2022, my mom passed. So then I stopped again. I spiraled out of control. I had to grieve. I went through depression, which was where Strong Enough came in, because I, didn't have that love for myself, because I was fighting my own battles and my own demons. And so 2022, I started writing, then stopped. 2023, I had surgery, stopped breathing on the table. Then my baby son actually caught 5 respiratory infections and went into kidney failure. And I almost
he's okay
lost,
now?
Yeah, he's doing a lot better. He's fully recovered. And I almost lost my son. And so then I stopped again. So then fast forward to last year, 2024, which was, I released the book in October. In June, like I said, the year before, in 2023, I had got hurt. And so I ended up having surgery on my arm. I tore the muscle in my elbow. And so I was hooked up to a machine for 45 days. And that's when I finished the book.
Wow.
So I went through a lot. So I went through a lot of sins of love during this time frame, and I went through a lot of hurt, a lot of healing, moments of weakness and moments of growth. So it took me almost 4 years to complete the book. So if you're a writer, or if you're somebody that has a dream and life is hitting you, because life definitely has hit me, just keep going. Just keep going. So my boss that died was actually the owner of Zappos, Tony Shea. And one thing he told me when I was showing him some of my poems and letting him know what I was doing, he was like, when it's your time, God will show you that it's your time. Amen. So never go on anybody else's schedule, anybody's time frame. When it's meant for it to happen, it'll happen. So I was forcing the book to come out, and I kept hitting these roadblocks, and then finally everything worked out. And when I say everything aligned itself to work out the way it was supposed to, it did.
You guys, ladies and gentlemen, that just shows me how beautiful the testimony and the journey is. You know what I'm saying? The devil will do anything to stop you from reaching your greatness, from reaching the potential that God has given you. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't even a Christian show. Y'all be cussing. I'll be doing all that. But, you just can't deny God's presence. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's so incredible to me, Mama. And I know that I keep saying, I've told you this about a million times now, but Mama, I really fucking needed this book. I really needed this message. And I'm not going to get emotional. Hold up. I'm going to cover my eyes. I really, really did. I really, really did. I felt so alone for so long, and it's so crazy. Before I left my relationship, mentally I clocked out years ago, but it was, how do I get away without being killed? That was my biggest issue. And I don't know, I feel like, even though I am struggling, because I feel like I'm good, that was 6-7 years I've given, so I know that I'm going to be struggling with that, but I really felt like after reading this that I could put that nail in that coffin. I really do, Mama.
I'm glad. I feel like if I touch one person off reading my book, I feel like I've done my job.
Absolutely.
I feel like I've done my job. And
Absolutely.
It's one thing where I've gave so much sweat, tears, long nights, struggles, trying to put this book together. You know what I mean? So it's one thing where it's just like, and like I said, we still have to every day choose to not be our past, choose not to be our pain, choose not to be our trauma. So it's a continual thing that you have to go through and continue to work on yourself. So like I said, sometimes we just have to give ourselves grace in those moments. But I mean, I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful that I was able to finish it. But then sometimes, like, I look at the book and I'll be like, baby, should you have put that in there? Should you have told them about this? But I feel like if we're not honest with ourselves, then who are we going to be honest with?
Well, was there anything that you wish you would have added into the book? Or you're like, nah, we'll save that for the next one?
So there's a couple because I ended up cutting a few poems in the book because I didn't want it to be too long. And like a lot of people are used to reading stories. So when people say, I have a poem book, people are like, I don't want to read that. And then you hear my poems. You hear the pain in the poems. You hear the strength and the message behind the poems. So then they're like, okay, like this is different. So like right now I've been going out to like different places in Vegas and different venues and actually reading. So like I'll go to a hip hop club and then enter in like go on and read some of my poems. And then like some of the people just from men to women, different ages will be like, yo, like that was deep, or that like that really touched me. And so when I hear that and see that, it's just like, okay, I did what I was supposed to. It took a while to get here, but I'm finally here.
We're going to go ahead and play a game in just a second. But Mama, before we go ahead and do so, let the people know where they can go ahead and get their copy, get their audio copy, everything, baby.
Yeah, so this book, Sense of Love, is actually on Amazon. It is in an ebook, a hardback, and a paperback. There's also an audiobook that's on pretty much every audio streaming platform. It's on 37 audio streaming platforms. It's also in 6 different languages. So if you don't speak English, maybe it's in there for you.
Okay.
It is in my voice, so I actually recorded it in my
All
own.
them languages?
No, not all the languages.
Girl, I'm just saying.
No, I ain't that talented.
Okay, she said, hola.
No, they translated it for me, but no, but the English version is in my voice. I actually went to the studio and recorded it. So yeah, check it out on Amazon. It will be on Barnes & Noble in about 2 weeks. But yeah, and then if you're here locally in Vegas, you can get it there. I'm on all social media platforms. If you hit me up, I will send you a signed copy as well. You can buy it from me personally. Right. So pretty much any way you want to get it, I'm going to send it to you. Plane, train, bus, we're gonna get mail. That money. I'm going to get it to you. I'm going to get it to you.
I love that, baby. You guys, it's time for this or that. All right, so what we're going to do, Mama, we're going to go ahead and play a little game.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm not going to ask you nothing unacceptable, uncomfortable. I just want the viewers to get to know you just a little bit better, okay? So I'm going to ask you a question, and there's 2 answers. You got to pick one of them, okay? You ready?
Okay, let's go.
All right. So peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese?
Grilled cheese all day. I make the best.
Yeah? You put a little bacon, a little meat in there? Or no?
It depends on how you like it. Sometimes you got to switch it up. Sometimes you got to do the 2 layers of cheese, do the cheese with the ham and the cheese and ham and the bacon.
I need all that pork. You know what I mean? All right. Are you salty or sweet? What are you going to eat? Salty food or sweet food?
That's a hard one. So I think I'm more salty. I don't really be having a sweet tooth.
No?
No.
I feel that. I like them. I like anything with a little sea salt. That's me. That's me. TVs or movies?
Movies.
What genre of movies?
Chick flicks. I love a good. Even though it says sense of love, I'm a sucker for love and a good love story. So I'm definitely gonna love the chick flicks. Like, let them get married and fall happily ever after.
I love that. Movies or books?
Books.
Who's some of your favorite authors?
You know what? Lately, I love Maya Angelou, and I feel like she was my first to make me like really get into poetry and really getting into writing. Lately, I've been reading more like self-help books.
Okay.
So like Rick Ross, 50 Cent, a lot of these people have like all these help books. So I've been looking at that more lately, but My true inspiration came from Maya Angelou. She will always be my forever author. But I literally read a little bit of everything from like scary to science fiction to self-helps to autobiographies. I literally read everything.
Girl, you better than me. I only read Junie B. Jones and Zane's Chronicles, my nasty ass. All right. Swimming at the beach or swimming at the pool? What would you prefer to do?
The beach.
The beach? You gonna have your little cocktail?
Yeah, I gotta have a cocktail, and then if it's late at night, let's go all the way naked. We gotta be free.
Okay. I know free. That's right. Home cooked or dining out?
Home cooked. I'm definitely a cooker, so I definitely like to cook.
What's your favorite meal to prepare?
Lately I've been doing a lot of jerk, so that I like to cook. So like jerk Alfredo, jerk salmon.
Okay, I'm gonna need some jerk chicken wings.
Oh, I definitely hook you up.
I love that, baby. Okay, so I feel like I know the answer to this one, but what are you, boobs or ass? Boobs or ass? What you prefer?
You know what? I actually have wings on my boobs, so even though I like to shake my little butt, I love boobs.
She said, "Let me shake them titties."
I got the little titties.
Are you soda girl or juice girl?
So where I'm from, we say pop. But
I know that's right.
I think I'm more juice.
Juice? Where are you from, baby?
Illinois.
And then how did you make your way to Vegas?
So I went from Illinois to Cali. I moved there to take care of my uncle. And then when I split with my son's father, who I was with for 9.5 years, I packed up and moved to Vegas. I had a girlfriend out here, and she was just like, sweetheart, like, you not finna be on Facebook depressed. My family was ready to come get me, and she was like, no, come to baby, come to Vegas. You a hustler.
Okay.
Come out here, and I moved to Vegas.
I love that, baby. So cake or pie, which one you prefer?
I actually don't really like sweets, but if I gotta choose, it's gonna be cake.
Okay, what kind of cake would you get if you do get one?
I like red velvet, but I can make you a bomb 7-Up cake.
Okay. Girl, I ain't never put that soda up in the cake. How does it go? Does it make it like fuzzy, puffier? Like, what does the 7-Up do?
Yeah, you know what? I really don't know this. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I just know when my great grandma taught me how to make it, it just go in there. You got your flour, your sugar, your butters, and your 7-Up.
Okay, so this next question has a right or wrong answer. I'm just letting you know.
Ooh.
Okay, it's a big one. King of Vegas talk or the rest of them?
You, baby. King of Vegas Talk.
I know that's right, baby. So we just got a couple minutes left before we end the show today, you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And thank you for sponsoring my show, girl. I needed that little money, okay? I needed that little money, okay? But I need to know, what can we expect more from Fay Leta Crawford? When is this next book coming out? Are we writing it right now? Are we just taking a break and promoting this book? What are we doing?
So I am promoting this book right now, but I am writing the next book. So I'm actually writing both at the same time. So I'm also in the process of developing my own alcohol line. So so Daughter of a Pisces is actually going to come out in a series. So it's going to be 12 books in that series, which is also going to come out with an alcohol line.
I know that's right.
With an alcohol that's tied to it. So that's under works. The Rise and Fall of My Artist is actually almost done, but I want to promote this a little bit more. I have some open mics and some events that I'm doing in DC and Houston and Atlanta, back home in Chicago. So I got to go back to Galesburg, which is where I was born. So I'm going to be doing some traveling. I do different events throughout the week here in Vegas. So I'm just promoting the book, getting it out there, getting my story out, listening to other people's stories in the process, which is also giving me more content to write more stories and just hear people's stories, because sometimes people just want to know that you can relate to them. So we're going to get it all out there.
That's absolutely true. She said DC, Houston, Atlanta. She said pimping all over the world.
All over the world.
I love that, baby. I love that. So how long has the writing process been for these upcoming books? Books or poems? I'm sorry.
So they're books, but I write better in poem form. So every book will be in poem form. I want to change the game when people hear poems and think that, that red is the roses are red, violets are blue. No, it's more than that. It's deeper than that. Absolutely. And I feel like people need to really look online and look at these artists that are doing the spoken word and have these these poems be deep. They be deep. And so I feel like let's talk about it more. Let's open this niche that people kind of brush off like, it's poetry, or that's not my type of book. No, baby, I'm gonna make you want to read it. I'm gonna make you be like, wait, she said what? She jumped into it this house. So it's always gonna be poetry, but I feel like I do a different spin on it.
Are any of those books a sequel to this book, or is it just completely different stories, kind of the same topic?
So I feel like Sins of Love might have a second part, just because I've experienced so much since I released the book, and I've heard so many news stories that I feel like need to be tied into it. So I feel like there is going to be a sequel to that, but The Rise and Fall of My Artist and Daughter of a Pisces definitely have to come out first. So I'm gonna make y'all wait for that. I'm gonna definitely make y'all wait for it.
Fay Leta Crawford, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming today, baby. I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. I definitely enjoyed it.
No, girl, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go, this is your reminder to practice safe sex, especially within my community, the LGBTQ community, baby. Okay, especially my ass. I'm bisexual, so I'll be crisscrossing, okay? But no, seriously, you guys, we need to be practicing safe sex. Make sure you go to your sexual health clinics in your local city. They usually give away free condoms. Ladies, they do give away free birth control. And I know my community likes to rely on the Doxy and the PrEP to prevent, chlamydia, STDs, HIV, but it does not prevent everything, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So, and ladies, you too. That birth control ain't gonna prevent HIV, just the baby. And sometimes not even the baby. You know what I'm saying? So you guys need to go ahead and just make sure that you guys are practicing safe sex, because I need you to be nice and healthy and here for me every single week. I truly need you guys, okay? I'm trying to get a season 2, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and post the sexual health clinics on my story on King of Vegas Talk. And just to let you know, if you're in the Vegas area, where to go ahead and get those condoms. Fellas, if you at the bathhouse, them condoms is free too. If you see AlexXx P there, mind your business or don't. I'm super, super thankful to be here, ladies and gentlemen. This has been such a great show. I know it's only the second episode of the season, but this is the best episode so far. You can't deny that. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you follow me on all social media platforms at Mr. King of Sin City. And follow us only on Instagram right now. But, I'm old, so I'm just trying to keep it one. But I'm going to have to do the TikTok, the Twitters, and all that. You know what I'm saying? But follow us at King of Vegas Talk, your new favorite internet daytime television talk show. You know what I'm saying? Where can they follow you, baby?
So, the only Sins of Love actually has, so the book has a page. I also have I Am Love Leta and I Am Diamond Fox. That was something we didn't even get into with 2 X's, but you can
That's going to be for part 2.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be for part 2.
Yes, ma'am.
But you can follow me there. I have TikTok. Everything is on my social media. So if you go on I Am Love Leta or I Am Diamond Fox or The only Sins of Love, you'll see everything tagged from Snapchat to TikTok and everything's on there.
Thank you so much, baby. Sins of Love, Fay Leta Crawford. Make sure you guys go check out the audiobook, get your hard copy, get your paperback copy. Yes. Baby, we here. We here to hustle, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much. This is King of Vegas Talk with Alex P, Mr. King of Sin City, the GOAT, the CEO and voice of Las Vegas. And like I said, shout out to everybody tuning in, baby. I need you. Yes. I'll see you guys for the next episode. And like I said, the next episode, baby, I'm doing a tell-all. I'm telling my testimony unapologetically, okay? I'm not calling nobody out. I ain't being messy. Baby, if you did something messy, you shouldn't have, okay? Because now the whole world's gonna know. Should I say names or not? You gotta let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great show, and thank you for coming. Sins of Love. Let's go ahead and give a clap to end things. Thank you!